welcome to my favorite orange chair. Yes, and we're talking everything that concerns single parents. I'm super excited. Thank you so much. I cannot believe the amount of overwhelming response I've gotten from some of these videos that I'm just, I just like to help. A lot of people have come to me to say, oh, they have this challenge or the other and they're single parent. Before I became one, I didn't even know that they had there's so many that are in this category. So thank you very much for every response I've gotten. I'm dealing with some of the things that you guys have said. I'm attending to your emails. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you think this content is really good for you. Today I want to talk about something I know a lot of you be like, LOLO, what? Communicating with your ex. I know some of you just immediately I can't, oh, God forbid, over my dead body after all he did. One of these days I'm gonna have a psychologist friend come into the show or come on the program and talk to you. See, I just realized that life is so short to keep grudges. The most important thing you could have done, or the most decisive decision you could have made, is to be separate. If you had a relationship that was toxic, at least you're thankful that you were able to get out of the relationship. I've seen people who have died in their relationships. They never had the opportunity to even become exes. They were just ex to the grave. But if you have this opportunity, God has given you grace to be alive and to be separate. I think it's a good thing. So please, I want to encourage you to keep the line open of communication with your ex. See, let me tell you a story of a friend of mine. I'll just call her Miss X. You see, she was the one that raised her children on her own. She made sure that her children didn't interact with their father. She did everything she could to, keep them apart, so to say. Do you know that when these children became like teenagers, behind our back, they started communicating with their dad. The one that broke the camel's back was when our daughter wanted to go to school abroad. And their dad discussions that she couldn't afford it. And her daughter just went straight to her dad. And the dad paid the tuition and she went to school abroad. Do you know this thing that happened broke my friend so much? I haven't seen her in a couple of years to even know if she has been able to work her way back to her normal self. She could not imagine that for the past 6 years, her children have been communicating with their father behind her back. Do you think that is a better option? Is it not better that you keep the lines of conversation open for the sake of your children so that nothing hits you by shock? Ladies and gentlemen, whether you're a single parent that is maybe a single dad, you need to keep the line of conversation open with the mother of your children. Because if they interact with her behind your back, it will hurt you more. So why not avoid those kind of unpleasant circumstances? It can really demoralize and kill your esteem. Imagine what happened to my friend when she found out that from the time her children were about 15, they've been communicating with their father to the point that he paid the tuition she couldn't afford, and this brought about a split between her and her children. Then she got into that bitterness of, I'm the one that raised you, how could you do this to me? Sometimes when we get divorced or separated, it's not the fault of our children. So you have to shield them as much as you can from any unpleasantness that might come from that. And that is why you need to keep the line of conversation open with your exes. You don't even have to see physically. Thank God for technology. Do you know you can email, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can do video calls, you can use any of the social media portals to communicate if you don't want to see physically. So it is even better than years before that all these avenues are not even available. So that means you guys will be able to make a lot of decisions and come to an agreement when it comes to your children and parenting them. I'm not saying that there are no exceptional situations where your ex is totally unreasonable. Then that would be an exceptional circumstance. Or maybe interacting with you can bring harm to you or your children. I'm not saying that there are no exceptions today. Every rule has an exception. So if you're listening to me and that's your own present circumstance, please do what you think is right for your own home. This is just like a general advice, basically. If you can, keep the line of conversation open for the sake of your children. I know we're going to have a lot of banter on this particular topic. So send me emails as usual, LOLO1africa@gmail.com, and let's talk about this. Send me your number. We'll add you to our WhatsApp group so that you can keep the conversation going even long after we've left YouTube. Until the next time that we'll have another thing to talk about as single parents, keep being strong, keep being great parents that I know that you are.